everybody. Welcome. It is July 5th, 2022. This is episode 146 per the title header, but kind of episode 145 because July 4th was a holiday and I accidentally scheduled the briefing for yesterday, which did not happen. Welcome to Simply Cyber's daily cyber threat briefing. I'm your host, Dr. Gerald Auger, and over the next 30 minutes, I'll be taking you through the top cybersecurity news stories of the day and providing expert analysis on each of those stories, on what it means to you as a practitioner, how you can operationalize it in your environment, or if you're looking to break in the industry, how you can take advantage of it and absolutely just crush an interview. It's going to be awesome. Now, shout out and thanks to this stream sponsor, Barricade Cyber Solutions. Cyber criminals have stolen your company's data and derailed your business operations, which is absolutely awful. Barricade Cyber Solutions will help you resolve this ransomware attack and, most importantly, get your business back on track. Much love to Barricade Cyber Solutions and the great work they do up in our space. I want to remind you, if you hold a professional certification like CISP, CISM, CISA, each episode of the Daily Cyber Threat Briefing is worth half a CPE. So that means 2.5 on a normal week, right? So this week would only be, it's normally 10 a week, right? 2.5 times 5. Have I been doing that wrong this whole time? It really is wrong. No, it's oh God, guys. Listen, I haven't had my first cup of coffee and it was a 3-day weekend and I did a lot of traveling. I'm out of my mind right now. It's a half a CPE per episode, 2.5 a week. This week it's actually 2 because it's only 4 days, but you get the idea, guys. It stacks. It's very important. Just say hi in chat. I see Nico saying good morning. I saw Jim Lund say good morning. Alex Goodwin, what's up? Yeah, so just bear with me, guys. I got to get the coffee juice flowing here, but just say hi in chat, and it's like taking it's like taking attendance. Good God. Allow me the grace of taking my sip of coffee. All right. If you are live, love it. I see 48 of you here. I just jumped to 52. Thank you so much for being here. Much love, hashtag Team Live. If you're watching on replay, hashtag Team Replay. Love that as much. I think I have the shirt at the P.O. box. I'm going to go grab it later today. Hopefully have that for you guys tomorrow or Thursday, but I think today's the day I'm going to go get it. If you want to jump right to the news, if you're watching on replay because you're in the future, when this screen turns into news, that's when we're doing it. But for the next, I don't know, let's say 90 seconds, I will be super pumped, super happy to be welcoming folks into chat, and more importantly, for the benefit of all of you and the quality of this production, I will be drinking my coffee. So good morning, everybody. Hey, Nirvana, good to see you. Mark Schrader, I see you. Set Flow, always nice. Lauren Alston. Hey, Tom Bishop. Team Live, Frank Ruiz. Yeah, hashtag Team No Coffee Yet. That's true. You know, the problem is I get this water boiling before I put it on the ground, so it's always like an adventure. How was everybody's 4th? Did you guys get to do some cookouts? I know we have an international community here with Simply Cyber, so maybe folks internationally weren't celebrating the 4th, but here in the United States, for me, the 4th, it's really a fun. It typically is like a 3-day weekend, and my family has hosted a massive like family reunion style barbecue every year at my one aunt's house, and this year was no different, so it was a lot of fun. I hope everybody had a great time. Hey Saba, good to see you. Khalid, nice. DJ B-Sec, always good. I saw you spinning some music the other day. B-Sec, hey Kayla, hey Ryan Spishak. Guys, I want to remind everybody, hey, I spoke with Zach Hill over at TCM Academy. I teased it last week, but this is it. Stay tuned for this show, and most of you always do. We will be raffling off 2 vouchers to the full practical ethical hacking course at TCM Academy. So it's Heath Adams' original course that kind of launched TCM Academy. I've bought the course multiple times. I've taken it. It is a fantastic course. Now, it's really geared towards people who want to become a professional offensive security practitioner, but it's a really great course and it can really help you quite a bit. Would it be great to get a job on top of your course, analyst? Yeah. Yeah, we might be able to think about some way, Khalid, to handle that. I can't, it's hard for me to do like one-on-one coaching and stuff. I get pinged about 30 times a day. And I just don't have time to help everyone that way. That's why I do Simply Cyber, to do it en masse. But something for me to think about, sure, around how to interview. I do have the whole section in the GRC Analyst Master Class at the end on how to get a job, including a section on how to crush the interview. So definitely check that out. So anyway, stay tuned for the giveaway for the TCM Academy. Thanks to Heath and Zach over there for donating it. But I think it's about time I take one last slug off the coffee and get into the news, y'all. 3-day weekends can always be good for the news cycle because there's like a lot more cherries to pick from the tree. All right, let's get into it, shall we? Oh my God, I forgot to test the. Oh my God, you'll have to forgive me. I forgot to queue up the podcast. Oh my God. Oh, Jerry, what are we doing? All right, here we go.
From the CISO series,
All right,
it's
you guys should hear it now.
cybersecurity headlines.
It's Tuesday, July 5th, 2022. Jenkins discloses dozens of zero-day bugs in multiple plugins. On Thursday, the Jenkins security team announced 34 security vulnerabilities affecting 29 plugins for the Jenkins open source automation server, 29 of the bugs being 0 days, still waiting to be patched. The 0 days CVSS base scores range from low to high severity, and according to Jenkins stats, the impacted plugins have a total of more than 22,000 installs. The complete list of flaws yet to be patched includes XSS, stored XSS, cross-site request forgery bugs, missing or incorrect permission checks, as well as passwords, secrets, API keys, and tokens stored in plain text. Based on Shodan data, there are currently more than 144,000 internet-exposed Jenkins servers that could be targeted in attacks if running an unpatched plugin.
All right, so this is a pretty serious update, guys. So here's the one thing. So if you're running Jenkins, this is typically around DevOps for continuous integration, continuous deployment. So if you don't know whether or not you're running Jenkins in your environment, chances are you're not, right? Like this is very much kind of a core, way of doing business enterprise solutions. So it's very, very unlikely that you would be running Jenkins and not know you're running Jenkins, unless you have some weird R&D group doing some testing or something like that. But this is a DevOps solution, and DevOps isn't like a pair of pants you just try on to see if your butt looks good in them. It's like, it's a way of doing business. Like you're going into this paradigm of CI/CD. You're not messing around. So having said that, if you are using Jenkins, 34 0 days is pretty serious. That is a hot mess of 0 days. First of all, great for Jenkins security team to discover these and release these. A lot of times businesses like this will actually just do bug bounty programs and rely on the community to find stuff like that and then pay based on findings. But they have an in-house team, which is great. Now, this one's really around plugins. So if you have Jenkins, it's not instant death. You need to check, like this is a priority one right here, as far as I'm concerned. In fact, if you run Jenkins, you probably already made aware of it, honestly, and you may have had to work over the weekend, which would have totally sucked. But you have to be running the exposed plugins. Technically, your risk exposure is way higher if you have one of these internet facing Jenkins deployments. But because it is CI/CD for deploying typically like business enterprise solutions, I don't know why you'd have your Jenkins server exposed to the internet. You could have your web application exposed to the internet so your customer base can use. But the Jenkins server, if it's exposed to the internet, that might be more of a misconfiguration than intentional. I'm open. I had a DevOps engineer drop a very heavy comment on my Rajesh Ajash DevSecOps video over the weekend. I'm actually going to try to get that DevOps engineer to come on Simply Cyber, live an interview on what the reality is of DevOps. But I don't think it's so. Basically, this is an opportunity for the InfoSec team to go to, I don't even, the DevOps team, and say, hey guys, listen, we've got this problem. Let's check it out. First of all, are we exposed to the internet? Is that appropriate? Yes or no? If not, then let's turn it off or configure it correctly. Now let's look at these 1,700 vulnerabilities. This is legit, like vulnerability management slash DevOps. This should be a P1. So you may even want to go from hashtag team live to hashtag team replay and hit pause, or grab this link and send it to your DevOps team lead and be like, hey, what's our exposure on this? Because this one's no joke, y'all.
Rogue HackerOne employee steals bug reports to sell on the side. The rogue worker had contacted about half a dozen HackerOne customers and collected bounties and a handful of disclosures, the company said on Friday. On June 22nd, HackerOne responded to a customer request to investigate a suspicious vulnerability disclosure through an off-platform communication channel from someone using the handle RZLR. The customer had noticed that the same security issue had been previously submitted through HackerOne. The rogue employee received bounties for some of the reports they submitted, which allowed HackerOne to follow the money trail and identify the perpetrator as one of its workers who triaged vulnerability disclosures for numerous customer programs. Patch.
All right, so this dude is, and I'm saying dude, gender neutral. This dude sucks. Okay, this is insider threat, but not in the typical way that we think of like stealing intellectual property, etc. This person was literally screwing the client base of HackerOne. So real quick, because this is a real problem, and this is something that I actually think about often. And I love people's thoughts and comments because it is a thought exercise. Okay, HackerOne is a bug bounty platform, which basically means instead of companies like Jenkins having an in-house team, right? Like maybe Jenkins can afford it, but DJ BSEC software can't afford it, right? So instead of hiring people or doing once a year pen testing, what they do is they engage with these bug bounty platforms like HackerOne and BugCrowd, and they'll say, hey, here's a list of assets that are publicly facing. Anyone can hack them. But if they find a vulnerability or some way to configure something or get domain admin creds or like anything crazy like that, right? Not that you'd really get domain admins from a web app, but you get what I'm saying. Tell us, HackerOne, and then HackerOne will package it up and send it over to the client, which is the DJ BSEC software. And if they can prove that, yes, that is in fact a vulnerability, they'll close the vulnerability and then they'll pay Jim Lund. Like, so Jim Lund's the security researcher. He works through HackerOne to get to DJ BSEC software, and then everybody wins, right? DJ BSEC software has less vulnerabilities that were found by a white hat. HackerOne gets a little taste of the transaction, and Jim Lund is a independent bug bounty practitioner, and he's putting it on his resume like a boss. Okay, that's how it works in an absolute perfect world. That business model that HackerOne's selling. Now, here are a couple dark sides of this platform, and if you don't think about it, it may never really come up in your mind. But here's the deal. So Jim, this is what happened in this story. Jim, same scenario, but this is what happened. Jim Lund finds a vulnerability at DJ BSEC software. Jim Lund submits it to HackerOne. I work at HackerOne. I'm the one who happens to get Jim Lund's report that day. I look at it. I say, oh, yeah, this is a bug. I turn around. You got to remember, there's a bunch of people trying to hack all at the same time. So what I do is I say, oh, hey, sorry, Jim Lund. That one was already discovered. Better luck next time, buddy. Then I create a crap account on HackerOne. I submit it as a finding, and then it doesn't matter who picks it up. Hopefully not me. Whoever picks it up at HackerOne, they look at it and they say, you know what? Tom Pine, that's my hacker name, or my fake name. Tom Pine, that is a real vulnerability. We'll send it to DJ BSEC software. Yes, it is. Okay, Tom Pine gets paid. So in that case, Jim Lund just got screwed because he actually found it and did all the work. And I'm the criminal because I stole it. And then I went around and under a sock puppet account, submitted it as an actual vuln, and I got paid. So that is basically what happened. This individual actually went through another platform, which, by the way, like if it was me, I would have just created a fake sock account on HackerOne and submitted it through that way in order to not get caught. Because the way this person got caught was they took Jim Lund's finding and then they went off platform to another platform and submitted it to DJ BSEC software. And they were like, "Why are you submitting it this way? We work with HackerOne, sus." And then it began to unfold and the dominoes fell on whoever this criminal was. Okay, so I'm glad this dude got caught. The integrity of HackerOne's ecosystem is vitally important to the health of their business. If this was not taken action swiftly, and by the way, I bet you $1 million, or not a million because I don't have a million, but I bet you a round of beers that HackerOne pushed to have this story be mainstream news, to be top billing, because it's vitally important that the health of HackerOne's integrity remains in pristine condition, or else people abandon the platform. And this platform is only worth the network that it can provide, right? If no hackers are going to HackerOne, then no businesses are going to go to HackerOne to get services, right? So this whole thing could collapse from an idiot like this. Real quick, the other thing that I have questions about, and I'm not saying HackerOne did this. This is just a thought exercise. What if somebody find, like, okay, so Kimberly McKnight, okay, so she's also a hacker on this platform. She finds a real sick 0-day, like a no-click Apple vulnerability, NSO Pegasus level thing, right? And she submits it. What is like what is okay? So and then they submit it to I guess I'm just thinking, what is keeping HackerOne from contracting, or any bug bounty platform? I'm not saying HackerOne, from contracting, because they're going to get from like contracting with a 3-letter agency, right? Because think about this: HackerOne probably gets, let's say, $1,000, right? If it's a $10,000 payoff, maybe they take 10% and they get $1,000. Okay, well, what if they have agreements in place with 3-letter agencies for multi-million-dollar for sick 0-day transactions on certain key softwares, right? Like, like, oh, we're very interested in anyone using this really specific piece of software. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying HackerOne does that. I'm not saying 3-letter agencies do that. But like, you've got this pipeline of like confirmed 0 days basically coming in and all centralized there. Like, if I was a 3-letter agency, instead of spending my resources to hunt for these myself, I would either create a fake bug bounty platform and crowdsource the crap out of this, or I would I would partner with the platforms and figure out a solution. All very shady, all very like cabal level stuff. But that's where my mind goes when I'm thinking. I always think of like, how could this thing be like massively exploited? And like, who can financially benefit from it? Because oftentimes the reality is, follow the money. Money usually drives decision making. It's a hell of a motivator. So, anyways, these are some things that I think of. But this is interesting, and I bet you this isn't the first time. I will bet you that if some other people are doing this, like dabbling, they're gonna stop, because um, this isn't good. I wonder if this dude's being brought up on criminal charges too.
And preventable security issues lead causes of Q1 attacks. 82% of attacks on organizations in Q1 2022 were caused by the external exposure of known vulnerabilities in the victim's external facing perimeter or attack surface. Those unpatched bugs overshadowed breach-related financial losses tied to human error, which accounted for 18%. These numbers come from Tetra Defense and its quarterly report that sheds light on a notable uptick in cyber attacks against United States organizations between January and March 2022. The report did not let employee security hygiene or lack thereof off the hook either. Tetra revealed that a lack of multi-factor authentication and compromised credentials are still major factors in attacks against organizations.
Okay, first of all, you guys know I'm a sucker for really good like Story art. This is cool. This is cool. You know, I was a Game of Thrones nerd, so this is cool to me. Okay, so here's the deal. This report from Tetra Defense, who probably sells some type of like internet-facing security appliance. But that aside, patchable and preventable security issues led attacks in Q1. This is not surprising. Okay, guys, Shodan.io is a website. If you don't know it, go check it out. It basically scans the internet and finds all internet facing assets and makes it queryable. If there are unpatched things like the Jenkins servers that we talked about just in the first story, they can be discovered quite easily. Okay. Log4Shell was another one that you could easily find on the internet, right? Um, like you can find Microsoft RDP, remote desktop protocol, or as Eric Taylor from Barricade Cyber Solutions calls it, ransomware deployment protocol. You can find these things, and in the pantheon of hackers, right? Not all hackers are created equal, or not all cyber criminals. If you want to be thorough about it, there is APT, which are geopolitically motivated. There are cyber criminals, which are financially motivated. And then there are kind of a lower tier like hacktivists that are ideologically motivated. And then there's like cyber criminal script kiddies, kind of they leverage other people's work. They don't really know what they're doing, but they're going for it with tools that are available on the internet. So there is a wider pool of potential attackers, if you will, with publicly facing systems that are unpatched, right? It's very easy to run an Nmap scan and see what version software an SSH server is running, or an FTP server, or whatever, or find a telnet server. Ugh, right? It's very easy to do that. And it's very easy. You can go to exploit-db.com. I believe that's the website, and find ready exploits. You can use Metasploit, Kali, Parrot. They come loaded with all these things. So I'm not surprised that this is the case. I do appreciate that they point out, because this is a technical attack. I do appreciate that they point out that end users like Carl's of the world aren't let off the hook. Basically, most attacks, and I would argue, start with a phishing attack. They're just saying that there's an uptick in activity in technical attacks. But I'm just telling you, the reason it's not that there's like a bunch of keyboard cowboys, right? Riding the internet super highway, attacking the crap out of things like it's a Mission Impossible movie. I'm just telling you, as more and more things aren't like patched and they're internet facing, whether by intention or by accident through misconfiguration, there's tools out there that make it super easy. So, not surprised about this. The one thing I will say that's actionable for you guys, um, I use this technology. I think it's wonderful. I recommend you use it, especially if you're a small to mid-size business and you're an infosec practitioner who wears multiple hats, or you're DJ BSec and you're a network engineer who's also somehow been made responsible for infosec, and you have to deal with all that. Shodan has this service. I can't bring it up because you'll see my company's IP ranges, and I don't like that would be the dumbest thing I could do. But Shodan has this service called Monitor, Shodan Monitor. So I think if you go to monitor.shodan.io, it'll come up, but you can configure it with your IP ranges, your internet facing IP ranges, and it'll give you a output of what it's found for those. And then you can subscribe to a alert list. And then whenever something comes up, it'll alert you, hey, hey, Jerry, like this is a true thing that happened the other day. Hey, Jerry, looks like you're running a pop server all of a sudden, like an old timey like like a Model T mail server, like a you know. Is this intentional? And it was not. And I definitely don't want this running internet facing. So I took action on it right away. But my point is, it's a nice little tool that gives you. Thank you, BSec. I see the link there. It's a nice little tool. They have a free version for like 18 IPs, and then you can pay something like $50 a year, which is cheap if you're a business, right? So definitely check that out. And it's one way to help mitigate that risk right there that's on the cheap. Okay.
Raspberry Robin Windows worm has already infected hundreds of organizations. Discovered by cybersecurity researchers from Red Canary, Raspberry Robin is a Windows worm that propagates through removable USB devices. It uses Windows Installer to reach out to QNAP-associated domains and downloads a malicious DLL. The malware also uses Tor exit nodes as a backup command and control infrastructure. It was first spotted in September 2021, with Red Canary experts observing it targeting organizations in the technology and manufacturing industries. Bleeping Computer reports that Microsoft warned its customers via a private threat intelligence advisory sent to Microsoft Defender for endpoint subscribers.
All right, hold on one second. I'm looking for my sound effects folder. I've been keeping like a junk drawer while I'm in my temporary office. I created a sound effects folder. I can't find it right now, but like I think I created a QNAP sound effect. Annoyed with QNAP at this point. They're like literally every episode of Daily Cyber Threat Briefing has a QNAP story in it. I can't find this right now. I'm so flustered. Okay, here's the deal, guys. Here's the deal. There is this new vulnerability. It's a worm. A worm is not good. So here's a fun fact. Okay, there's viruses and there's worms. All right, worms kind of propagate without the need for intervention or a host application to propagate. Right. So classically, a virus, as an example, would leverage Microsoft Outlook. It would run in Outlook, and it would go through your contact list, email everybody, et cetera, et cetera. Like I think the I love you virus is a classic example of a virus if you're looking for one. Worms, they get in and then they start, worming their way around. This Raspberry Ramid one sounds pretty gnarly. It does move through USBs. So it did say QNAP here. I got distracted looking for the sound effect. It reaches out to QNAP associated domains and downloads a malicious DLL. Okay, so here's the deal with this, right? We've been talking for weeks about QNAP being compromised and a hot mess on fire. Well, it sounds like threat actors, instead of just ransomwareing QNAP devices, are now using them as um, staging servers to host malware. So you reach out to a QNAP device, which is unlikely to have been blacklisted by a like a wildfire type service, or a known malicious domain, because they're residential QNAP devices or small business QNAP devices. Pulls down the malware, infects. I didn't catch what the malware did, whether it was an info stealer or if it was I didn't catch if it was an info stealer or if it was like a ransomware thing, or what does it do? It didn't say what it did it? I don't know. Whatever. The point is, um, well, if the stream is choppy, I'm sorry. I'll look into my video feed, but here's the deal, right? Simple takeaway with this one: educate your end users not to stick random USB drives in their computers. Explain to them, if you find a USB drive in a parking lot and it says nude pics on it, don't plug it in because you want to see whose nude pics it is. If you see a USB drive that says Bitcoin wallet, I know it's super appealing to plug it in, but do not plug it in. Okay. Educate them. Like, you can use this story right here. Uh, I would definitely change it. Like, for an end user, I would not use the term worm. I would not use the term Raspberry Robin. I would not use QNAP distribution through C2 domains. I wouldn't use any of that. I would just say, hey guys, there's an uptick in activity of USB devices pushing malicious software. So be very careful plugging unknown malicious USB devices. Also, by the way, with conferences coming up like Black Hat, DEF CON, etc., you might get a USB drive at a conference. Somebody hands it to you, right? If I was a threat actor, here's the deal, guys. If I was a threat actor, I would be handing malicious USB drives to salespeople. Salespeople are, in my experience, notorious for being easy to compromise because they want to make the sale, because that's how they get paid. So, hey, here's a proposal I got, sales guy. Yeah, plug it right in. Now you own their computer, which, by the way, VPNs back to the home network. You ride the internet information. Hey, get off. You ride the information superhighway and get into the corporate network, and boom, right? So be mindful of that. Educate people about USB drives. It is a real risk and attack vector. You don't see it very often. If you want to get technical, you could disable auto load on USB drive plugins. But the more important thing would be to educate end users not to stick in USB drives if they don't have to. All right, now let's pay the bills for a second.
Thanks to today's episode sponsor, Votiro. Can you trust that your content and data is free of malware and ransomware? With Votiro, you can. Votiro removes evasive and unknown malware from content in milliseconds without impacting file fidelity or usability. It even works on password-protected and zipped files. Plus, it's an API, so it integrates with everything, including Microsoft 365. You can learn more at votiro.com. That's VOTIRO.com.
Okay, so that's CISO series paying the bills. Now let's take our opportunity. First of all, thank you everybody for being here. I genuinely appreciate it. I love doing the daily cyber threat briefing. Now, this whole week we are talking, I've talked to TCM Academy. They are right here. I've already, this is one of the accounts I have logged in. You can see it all says 0. It looks like I started doing the OSINT with this account. Anyways, this is TCM Academy. I'll put a link. I'm actually Simply Cyber is actually now a formal has a formal affiliation with TCM Academy, which is something I'm super excited about. But I haven't had time to like put anything in place or links and all that crap. But it was important for me to raffle this stuff off. So guys, if you have taken the practical ethical hacking course before, put it in chat whether or not you had a good time. I've taken it. I've actually bought it more than once because I have so many freaking user accounts that I got confused on which one was where, and I was like, whatever. I really support Heath. This is cool. But this course right here, this practical ethical hacking course, it is broken up into 2 parts. The first part is really a primer on what is networking, what is Linux, what is programming with Python, and what is kind of like the kill chain, right? And then you actually kind of attack a box at the end of section 1. And then section 2 is all about building an Active Directory environment, which is what you will see in corporate environments, and then actually using legit attacks like Bloodhound for kind of account accumulation, right? For like sniffing up intel, and then using things like pass the hash. And what else do they do? They Mimikatz, it might be in here. They do password cracking. It's a dynamite course. Kerber roasting's in here, which is more of an advanced move. This is a freaking awesome course. And if you ever want to take the PNPT, this is something that you absolutely should look into. So, having said all that, I've talked to TCM Academy, and they have agreed to donate 8 vouchers to this course for this week. So we're going to be raffling 2 off today. So if you're into it, yeah, the OSINT course is awesome too. I loved the OSINT course. I'm actually going to make a whole video about the OSINT course because I'm an affiliate now of TCM Academy. But that aside, guys, if you want to enter the raffle for the Practical Ethical Hacking course, go ahead and type in chat right now, TCM. TCM. It stands for the Cyber Mentor, which is Heath Adams' like handle or online moniker, whatever you want to say it. TCM. I'm raffling off 2 today, 2 tomorrow, 2 Thursday, 2 Friday. Much love to Zach Hill and Heath Adams over at TCM Academy. Guys, Simply Cyber is officially an affiliate of TCM Academy now. Like I said, there'll be more stuff coming out, but like I'm super happy. I don't align Simply Cyber with anything that I personally, Jerry, doesn't fully believe in. And this right here is dynamite. In fact, fun fact, while everybody's queuing up, the GRC course was originally going to be on TCM's platform. We talked about it. He agreed and everything. And then because I wanted to do pay what you can, and have that $0 option, I decided to host it myself. But I will be putting content on his platform as well, because I believe in what he's doing and absolutely love it. So, food for thought. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to be here for years. So I'm thinking the enterprise risk assessment workflow, like the how to conduct an enterprise risk assessment from start to finish, will be the course that's on his platform, but that's a 2023 initiative that I've got. Okay, let's keep on rolling.
British Army social media accounts hijacked. The British Army's Twitter and YouTube and maybe even Facebook accounts were compromised by a malicious third party on Sunday and used to direct visitors to cryptocurrency scams. The Ministry of Defense press office account took to Twitter around 7 p.m. local time to report the incident, and 4 hours later, an update claimed the issue had been resolved. The hackers had posted multiple promotional links to various crypto and NFT scams using live stream videos featuring celebrities like Elon Musk and Jack Dorsey, which one prominent lending institution, Santander, says is a fast growing trend in the crypto scam business.
Okay. All right, so this is not surprising. Okay, I do find that the actual account that they attacked, the British Army one, I mean, when I think of like getting financial advice or whatever, the British Army one isn't what I would go with, but maybe that's how they, it's just the one that they could attack. Okay, so a couple things here. One, from a defensive posture perspective, these type of accounts are typically shared accounts, right? Like there's usually like a marketing department or group of people that have access. So if you are operating in an environment where you have like kind of a company social media account, you do have to be mindful of over how those credentials are accessed, um, who who's using them at what time. Like there are solutions out there that can help you check in, check out accounts. I think Thycotic is one, and then change the password afterwards. You might have somebody who's like in control of the multi-factor authentication token, but with some of these you can say remember this device, and then the two-factor isn't applying in future iterations. So I don't know how this attack happened. It could be an insider threat. It could be they stole a session token. It could be that the accounts didn't have multi-factor authentication enabled, which would be absolutely ridiculous. Um, but at the end of the day, what it did happen. So from a technical solution, make sure MFA is in place. Make sure the credentials are changed when someone leaves, and make sure that only authorized people have access. Now that the best practices for protection are to the side, let's talk about this particular example. The threat actors are wanting to pump as much activity into the NFT or crypto coin as possible. Okay, so they take this account and they go and they say, hey, check this out, whatever, get money quick or do whatever, and they're relying on the authenticity and trust and authority of the Twitter account that they compromised to help push people in that direction, right? So at British Army, obviously blue check mark. Okay, so what are they saying? Oh, invest in this. All right. Now, the other thing that they said, which is wildly interesting, I don't know if you can really see it here, but these individuals definitely did their prep, right? They knew that they were going to be able to get this account, so they did all this prep work. So you can't really see it because it's a little pixelated, but these are videos of Elon Musk and Jack Dorsey and a couple other very prominent, very well-known like celebrities, quote unquote celebrities in the financial space. Likely they are known by non-crypto people, right? Because that's really who this attack is kind of targeting. These videos have been cut up and edited in such a way that the people like Elon are saying things that were not their original intent. Like, oh, absolutely buy this crypto. But in reality, they said, absolutely do not buy this crypto. But then they just like cut out do not, and then they splice it together. So these are altered videos to push a specific narrative. So again, they're using the blue checkmark Twitter account for trust and authority. They're using these edited videos to further push the trust and authority of whatever it is that the threat actors are trying to get you to do by their NFT project, which is probably a rug pull or something like this. This is a straight money scam. It's a little bit more complicated because they had to do some legwork up front, but I will say that they can reuse these videos to their investment. Like, I hate to talk about it this way, but the criminals and time investment into editing these videos can be realized multiple times because they just have to compromise another account, push the same video content, wait for the money to roll in. So be mindful, guys. Be mindful. Educate your personal family, your personal life, right? Share that these type of attacks, like I was with family over 4th of July weekend and I told them all about these, like, here's your Geek Squad annual renewal email receipt and how that's like the entry point for uh, a scam to get you to call a call center and for them to attack you, right? So do a solid, right? I know sometimes it can be tough doing like IT support or cybersec support for your friends and loved ones, but make them mindful of this, dude. You don't want anyone you care about or your business to get taken advantage of in this type of way. It's disgusting.
UK signs deal to share police biometric database with US border guards. According to a member of the European Parliament's Committee on Civil Liberties, Justice and Home Affairs, LIBE, informal meetings with representatives of the US Department of Homeland Security were held this week to discuss the plans. They come under the auspices of the Enhanced Border Security Partnership, EBSP, which is designed to increase the U.S. Department of Homeland Security's ability to detect threats through biometric information sharing. Israel signed up to the agreement in March, and LIB committee members said that they have already discovered that the UK and 3 unidentified EU member states have now signed up to reintroduce US visa requirements which grant access to police biometric databases.
Oh yeah, guys, hold on. You know what's coming. You know what's coming. I spent more time looking for this than listening to the story.
That's the sound of the police.
Yes, yes, guys. Okay, I am super pumped about international law enforcement collaboration. I hope you saw it coming. Um, Love this. Okay, so not super huge fan of sharing biometric information because obviously that can be weaponized. But um, for me, like, okay, so they're trying to introduce more border control type stuff, ensure that the people coming through are in fact who they say they are, and that people, more importantly, that have like arrest warrants out for them or they're trying to fake their identity aren't captured. Also, I'd like to point out that this can be used to help limit this can help limit human trafficking, right? So say like someone's trying to steal their like okay, so like my wife and I have a wonderful marriage, so that's not the case, but like let's say that I'm in a tumultuous relationship and my marriage is going to shit or geez, my marriage is going to crap and I'm going to steal my kids in order to take them to a country that my wife can't get to because we're international or whatever, right? Like, but I say that they're not my kids. I say that they're, whoever, right? So maybe these biometrics are used to help prevent that type of trafficking or even more nefarious type trafficking. Okay. At the end of the day, when you start introducing biometric stuff like this, it gets into more of a police state type of thing. But which I want to be careful of, guys. I'm not interested in Orwellian society. That is not good. But kudos to international law enforcement collaboration.
That's the sound of the police.
All right.
Last week in ransomware. Last week's big news was the release of Lockbit 3.0, which includes a new bug bounty reward program where the threat actors pay between $1,000 and $1 million for submitted bugs and new ways of enhancing their operation. A Lockbit affiliate is distributing the ransomware through fake copyright infringement emails. Word documents are being used to install Astra Locker directly, and the Black Basta gang is exploiting the print nightmare vulnerabilities. There were attacks last week on publishing house Macmillan, Fitzgibbon Hospital in Missouri, Medical University of Innsbruck, and automotive fabric supplier TB Kawashima. Threat actors also claim to have attacked semiconductor giant AMD and Walmart, who says the attack never occurred.
Okay, couple things. I'll start off really quickly. Eric Taylor, if you can comment on Lockbit's approach to bug bounty. Real quick in chat, I'd be interested in that. Okay, guys, so really quick, CISO series has done a good job of kind of having like a ransomware roundup, a couple quick hits on ransomware stories. The one that I will give it as a takeaway, because we don't deal with general counsel very often. General counsel being like the lawyer on staff at the company, or legal, or whatever you want to call it. Sometimes you have external counsel for a business. Anyways, they said that threat actors are actually pushing malware through fake copyright infringement emails. So, hey, like, whatever, you have a copyright infringement. We're going to take legal action against you. Please see attached affidavit in email, right? And it's a Word document. And it's going to be a classic attack where it's either macro enabled, or it's this new Microsoft debugger thing. I can't even remember what it's called, because it didn't have a logo, of course. What the hell? What was it called? Felina. See, if it had a logo, I would remember. Like it's either going to be the Felina attack or macro attack. It doesn't matter. It's a Word document. That's how it's getting pushed. Copyright infringement. So just take a minute, send a quick note to maybe the executives and legal. Great way to get a little FaceTime with the brass, and to share a quick hit for making them aware. So be mindful. It's an interesting technique. You're targeting kind of a higher value target, but it is more of a spear phishing technique ish, or whaling technique, because if Carl gets that in R&D, he's gonna be like, what do I care about copyright infringement? I just work here. So you've got a smaller population, but obviously legal is going to have access to a lot more. If you ransomware legal, or you get into the file server for the sensitive docs that legal has, obviously that's a lot more of a concern. The other thing that they mentioned, and I asked Eric Taylor to comment on this, Lockbit, which is a ransomware variant, but the Lockbit gang that uses it, right? Usually the gangs, unless they're like Wizard Spider or something like that, typically the gangs will be named after what are you doing up here? Back up. The gangs will be named after the ransomware variant that they spin. They have introduced a bug bounty to find 0 days or vulnerabilities in their software, because they don't want people reversing it and finding a decryptor tool. What I found wild is that they're willing to pay from $1,000 to, wait for it, $1 million. $1 million for a criminal organization to pay $1 million to a bug bounty researcher is kind of crazy. And by the way, if you are a security researcher, aka white hat hacker, and you're doing you're doing bug bounty research, security vulnerability research on malware, you're definitely gray hat, borderline black hat, because you're basically what are you doing down there? What are you doing? You're basically armoring malware. You're working on malware. So it's not gray, you're black hat, right? So don't think that because you're not the one infecting people's computers that you're somehow removed from accountability. You are accountable. So I would encourage people, but hey, I'm not one to judge, right? Sometimes you're pushed into a corner, you got mouths to feed, you lost your job, recession's hitting, you've got skills. I would just, you have to make that moral decision. You have to step over that line if you're going to do security research in that faculty.
The FBI adds Crypto Queen to top 10 most wanted list. Ruja Ignatova, a Bulgarian woman believed to be in her 40s, is wanted for her alleged role in running a cryptocurrency Ponzi scheme known as OneCoin. Federal investigators accuse the fugitive of using the scheme to defraud victims out of more than $4 billion. She's been missing since 2017, when U.S. officials signed an arrest warrant and investigators began closing in on her. Back in 2014, OneCoin, a self-described cryptocurrency, began offering buyers commissions if they sold the currency on to more people. But FBI agents said OneCoin was worthless and was never safeguarded by the blockchain technology used by other cryptocurrencies. For those interested in this story, the podcasting arm of the BBC has a 10-part series entitled The Missing Crypto Queen.
Okay, really quick. I'm just pulling up OneCoin's value right now, since it was never really worth anything. This says today it's worth 0.000866, which I think might be worth more than a Shiba Inu coin, or SHIB coin, SHIB token. and yeah. So whatever. Yeah. Okay, so that's not the point. The point is, couple things here. I've never seen a female on the FBI's top 10 list. Okay. So this is interesting. It's almost, as far as I know, it's always been men. I'm not saying it's always been men. I'm just saying I don't recall a female ever being on the top 10 list. This woman disappeared in 2017. So she's been on the run or on the lam for 5 years. It's kind of funny. Someone saying Crypto Queen podcast. Is that a Darknet Diaries or something like that? Anyways, I have heard of her. I feel like I watched a video documentary on her. Very interesting. A lot of people in the NFT space or crypto space, they put up the illusion that the thing is real, and then they do a rug pull. She was just like straight up like selling, um, plastic Gucci bags essentially, and gonna straight steal you, right? So this whole thing was a scam, right from the rip. And you know what? Uh, I'm not surprised, guys. A lot of crypto, right now, not all of it, but a lot of crypto is scams. I would strongly encourage you watch CoffeeZilla, like Godzilla, except with coffee at the beginning. CoffeeZilla on YouTube. That guy does fantastic, comprehensive work of different um, coins and like what the scams are that compose those coins. He did Celsius, he did Luna, he's done a couple other ones, and he talks to like either anonymously or openly to the project organizers about how they're like, yeah, it was a scam. Like it's gross. It's gross. It is gross what is going on in the crypto space. It's Wild West, people hawking snake oil. It's disgusting. And unfortunately, there's a lot of older people who don't know any better. There's a lot of younger people who are getting pinched by debt and recession and not finding work, who are gonna make it rich because of crypto, because Gen X doesn't get it. And in reality, people like this woman are just straight up stealing. All right. So be mindful of that. It pains me how gross the crypto space is. Here's the final thing I'll say on that. I am getting wicked toasty right now. Okay, listen. This is the final thing on this. The concept of decentralized economy and empowering people was a cool idea, and I get it, but it's been absolutely perverted and distorted by criminals, eh, like instantly, to the point where I don't even know if it's recoverable. And I'm not surprised, because anytime that there is any solution or technology that can be used for good, people like this find ways to pervert it. And that's all it is. It's ruined it. It's ruined it for everybody. I don't know if it can recover, honestly, but it sucks, honestly. Give
It's
me that
looking
spice.
spicy.
Yeah. All right. All right, guys. So I think that's it for today.
We cover a lot of
Okay, so that's it for today. Obviously, I'm not going to turn on the music because that would screw up the microphone, and we're not going to know. So last chance, TCM is the entry for the raffle giveaway. I saw Poner Joe asking. We are raffling off in the next 30 seconds here access to TCM Academy's Practical Ethical Hacking, the complete course. I've taken it multiple times. Well, I've bought it multiple times. I've taken it once, and this course is absolutely awesome. Let me see if I can do this. Yeah, this is the course logo. Yeah, get in there, TCM. Okay, guys. So I'm going to draw right now. As soon as I get the right window open. Good luck to everybody. Our first winner of the TCM is Kimberly McKnight, our very own Cybersecurity Central, longtime Simply Cyber member, and also member of the squad. Congratulations, Kimberly. Connect with me on Discord or LinkedIn, and we will get you sorted out. Okay, next winner of the TCM Academy, as soon as I get the right window, is going to be Justin Loken. Subscribe November 2021. So Justin has been with Simply Cyber for quite a long time. Thank you very much, Justin Loken. And also shout out to Mark Schrader, squad member, a recent new addition of the squad. So let's give him a little anime wow. All right. Awesome, y'all. Awesome. Okay. Where is my, there it is. Where is this? Let's get back. All right. So congratulations to everybody who won. Kimberly, Justin, get with me. I will connect with, I have to get with Zach to get the vouchers with the holiday weekend. It wasn't working communication, but I will, trust me, I will get it to you, even if I have to handle it myself. All right, guys, we're at, oh God. So I guess the half hour, I should start saying in the intro that over the next 60 minutes, we'll be doing X, Y, and Z because it runs long. Let me ask you guys really quick. Drop it in chat. I will go back and look. Just take a second and answer the question. Do you prefer this in the 30-minute increment, or do you like it that I've run a little longer? I'm kind of just going with the flow of how I feel. If I have something specific to say on a story, I say it. But if you want me to keep it tighter packaged into 30 minutes, I can do it. It'll just be less editorial by me. That's one question for folks. And then two, I want to remind people that, or share with people that Simply Cyber does have a podcast. It's right now, it's just the Thursday streams, but I've been investigating and looking into how to do this where I can automate the daily cyber threat briefing with very little manual overhead in order to have it post to the broadcast, like say at like 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you prefer to consume it, I know it's a pain in the butt to keep like LinkedIn or YouTube open on your phone if you're driving and stuff like that. It sucks the battery. So I'm trying to make it as widely accessible as I can. So that's just like a teaser. This is my from July to September goal is to get the podcast going like that. And I'll be relaunching simplycyber.io's website. I've been working with a web dev. The new website looks banging. It's not ready for prime time yet, but it is banging. You guys are going to love it. It makes things a lot easier to find, which many of you have been asking for years. But now it's a priority. All right, y'all. I hope everybody has a wonderful Tuesday. Short week, guys, so let's power through it hard. If you're interviewing this week, best wishes. Hopefully this threat briefing can give you the ammunition you need to wow the interviewer and win the job. And if you're a practitioner, keep fighting a good fight. We enjoyed the 3-day weekend, but it's time to get back in the trench and fight the fire. Everybody have a great day. Thank you so much for being here. We'll see you tomorrow. This has been Simply Cyber's Daily Cyber Threat Briefing, episode 146. Cheers, everybody.